Hey guys, this is Jamie Jenkins here with Insurance Solutions Group again. So I want to talk about today warm-up. So how you do your warm-up in sales controls the wholesale and whether you're going to make a sale or not make a sale. So really that first 30 seconds to a minute, especially if you're doing phone sales, is usually where you're going to really sell it. It's not really throughout 30 minutes later if you're talking about the product. It's going to be when you first get on the phone, can you get that client to trust you? Can you get them to trust you? And how do you do that? Especially on the phone, they have so many people calling them. Robocalls, they get so many calls every day, especially seniors. What makes you different from somebody else calling them? Why would they talk to you? Okay. First off, do you sound like a robot? Because how you sound matters. So I know I've got this drawn out country voice. So for me, that's a plus in sales because it's going to make them feel like, especially if in any of these southern states, more relaxed. And I definitely don't sound like a telemarketer versus somebody that sounds what I would call maybe more professional. And sometimes more like a robot or a telemarketer. I'm glad that I have this, southern drawl, southern accent because it really helps with helping my clients feel comfortable about they're talking with somebody, next door or down the road, versus being more formal and sounding like I'm about to sell them something or, about to ask for some information that they don't want to give out. So how you sound matters. So during my warm-up, it's a little different on the phone than it is, if you're going to be in person at a house. When I'm going to someone's house, there's so many things that I can think about to talk about in my warm-up. I can talk about how good looking their yard is, the pictures on the wall, some family members, whatever I'm looking at that's at their house, I can talk with them about and use that as some warm-up topic. And on the phone, I don't have any of that. So listening is another thing. You need to really listen well because you can use some of what you hear to be able to talk with them and establish some common ground. So we've got trust. We've got common ground, make them comfortable. You want to be a chameleon. You're changing every single phone call. Whoever you're speaking with, you want to have some common ground with them. You may be speaking with somebody, Country Joe over here that loves to go fishing, and my next phone call may be, a politician in Michigan. So that's going to be a tough one for me. He's probably going to hang up on me. So you need to establish some common ground so they will want to talk with you, and most people like talking about themselves, so you need to let them do that. You don't want to be the one talking about you. You want to listen to them. You want to fact find really well, and the best way to do that is be a good listener. I've had agents before. I'd hear them on the phone and they would hear what the client's saying and every few seconds they go, that's right, mm-hmm, that's right. They ain't hearing a word that they said. They're not listening at all. So you want to really truly listen so you can fact find and figure out what this client may need help with. I want to circle back around to how you say something. So when you say it, whatever you're talking about on the phone, do you say it with enthusiasm? Do you say it with excitement? Or are you monotone while you're talking on the phone? Do you sound like this when you're going through the sales process, when you're talking to somebody and you just sound the same the whole time? You're not excited. Or do you sound like a robot? How you sound matters. on the other end of that phone, they can tell whether you're really listening to them. They can tell if you're knowledgeable about what you're talking about. You gotta have confidence, not cockiness. There's a difference, but you gotta be confident in in the product you're selling. You gotta really know and feel like you are helping somebody. You gotta really know your product, and you gotta feel good about what you're selling. You know, if you don't really think that what you're talking about is really gonna help them, and you're just trying to sell it to make a commission or make a little money on it, then you know you're not going to be very good at it, and you're not going to do it very long. You have to truly believe in what you're selling, and when you do that, you'll put a more of an effort into it to be able to get the sale done and close it. So the warm-up part of it is really, really important. The first 30 seconds of your phone call is super important to get them to whether they're going to listen to you and they're going to trust you, or they're going to hang up. I'm not interested, because I get 45 of these phone calls a day. You know, what makes you different? So you got to be different. You got to sound different. You got to sound excited. You got to sound enthusiastic. That's hard to do day in and day out, every single day. Very hard to do. It's a mental struggle. It's acting a lot of times, because you're not in the maybe the mood to be on the phone. You're not in the best place that day, mind-wise. So you might be thinking about the things you got to do, or some problems that's been thrown at you in life. You might have just got off of a phone call that was terrible, or 5 phone calls back to back that are just awful. And it's hard to have that excitement on that next phone call. It's a lot easier if you sell somebody and then get back on the phone and you're talking to somebody else, because you're excited you just made a sale. You're going to continue with that energy, and that's going to flow into the next call. So you have to dig deep and have that energy level on every call. You got to really want to listen to them and let them know that you're there to help them, and really fact find to figure out what the need is to help them. So to gain their trust, to start with, have confidence, sound confident in what you're talking about, know your product knowledge very well, relate to them. You know, like I said, you got to relate, you got to find a common ground, and you got to find out what their need is. You got to do a very good fact find on what their need is, and you've got to have a really good flow on your phone call. The next video I'll talk about will be a little bit about the flow of a call, and how to overcome objections, and how to do your presentation. So, because all of this, you got to put it together in one basket and be really good at all of it, and you'll have success. So anyway, please like my page, subscribe, and see you on the next call.